In today's class, we are going to see and learn about a special variable called this, which is available in Java by default. This is a variable which represents the current object, which tells that it is me. Let us take an example. mycar.drive with 10 as a distance. Here 10 represents an argument. So whenever this particular method call is made, it internally goes back to the drive method which is available in our class of this type. My car is of car type, so the drive method which is available in car will be called. This is our drive method, and when we pass this value and make a call to this method, this value gets copied to our parameter variable distance. So here the value of distance becomes 10, and every time this variable is used inside our method, it will have the value 10. But there is a variable which is not visible in this method, which is available to us by default. It can be considered as a hidden variable or hidden parameter. That is called this. This is a variable which is available for every method in every class that we create. What this variable represents, this is something that we don't declare specifically, and this is a reference variable which refers to my current object on which this method is called. So here drive is called on my car object, so this references my car. Now this variable is also called, as I told you, some hidden parameter. How can this be used? This is a variable which can be used inside our method to differentiate between instance variables and parameter variables. As we can see, miles driven is an instance variable. We can modify our code such a way that we write it as this dot miles driven. So this dot miles driven is equal to this dot miles driven plus distance. Some people like it using this way because here we have a very clear specification which tells us that miles driven is an instance variable of this object, which is the current object, and my current object is a car object, and the same applies here. This this reference variable is also called implicit parameter, and whatever parameters we have in our methods or any instance or any local variables that we have inside our parameters are called explicit parameter. Next, let us go to have a look on our car class. Okay, so here in our car class we see that drive is a method that we have been seeing just now. We can just modify our code here. So here we can see lots of instance variables: miles driven, fuel in tank, and miles per liter. So if try to modify this drive method with by providing this as the reference for all the instance variables, to differentiate all the instance variables from other local or parameter variables available in the method, and tell me how many times did you add this in method, and do you like it better this way, yes or no? Pause your video for a while, try it on your own, and come back again. I hope you have tried it. Now let me show you the answer. This dot miles driven equal to this dot miles driven plus distance. Fuel consumed is equal to distance by this dot miles per liter. Fuel consumed is a local variable, distance is a parameter variable, but miles per liter is an instance variable. Fuel in tank is also another instance variable. Okay, let us compile it. Let's see whether it gives any errors. No errors. So how many times did we add this? 5 times. And do you like it better? I will say yes. Why? Because when I add this for all my instance variables, it very clearly differentiates me which are instance variables. But at the same time, no. Why? Because it increases my code. It increases the length of my code. So it is completely your wish, your personal preference, whether you like to add this reference variable for all the instance variables in your methods or not. It's completely your personal preference. Now, let us have a look on person class once again. Now, as you can see in this particular person class, this is a simplified person class with having one name as instance variable and person constructor, which accepts a string as a name. And this person constructor is initializing the name instance variable with the received parameter. But as we have done earlier, every time we try to construct or write constructors for different classes, we have used separate names. This is a little weird name like a name rather than the variable name. So if we try to change this name with the same name that we are giving for, let us say, name, it would look somewhat like this. String name for the parameter of this constructor as well as the same name we are using here. Will this work? It won't work. Why? Because according to Java, the highest preference goes to parameter variables or local variables over instance variables. So basically this variable name here, which is a parameter in our constructor, hides this variable, which is an instance variable. Or to be frank, it overrides the existing name. So inside this constructor, name equal to name, both are parameter variable name. So we are trying to assign the parameter variable name equal to the same parameter variable name. And as you know that we are trying to access a variable which was not initialized before, and we are trying to do something like this. So basically there will be a naming conflict and compiler will not accept it. So to solve this, we can use this reference. We can write something like this dot name equal to name. Here, using this reference variable tells us as well as tells the compiler very clearly that this name variable is an instance variable of this object, that is the current object. Okay, and this name is a parameter variable which is available with the person constructor. So this statement will work. Let's go to the next slide. Okay, let us take an exercise. Let us say this is a person class with a little more information than our previous slide. So here we're having the parameters a name and picture name in x coordinate and y coordinate. So as you can see, we don't have a picture name here as instance variables. It will get its own picture. It does not matter. It is not required right now, but these are the few variables. A name, x coordinate and y coordinate also have their respective instance variables name, x and y, and try to modify this code to such a way that this particular constructor uses this reference variable to differentiate and rewrite the constructor using this and name the parameter variables as name, x and y. Modify these a name with name, x coordinate with x, y coordinate with y, and try to modify the code on your own. For doing this, you can go to a project called friends5 and open your person class in the friends5 project, and you will find somewhat similar code, and you can try this reference exercise there. Let us move on. Here we are going to have a look on another type of usage with the variable this. This reference variable can also be used in method calls. Let us have a look. Okay, so as we can see, this is my person class, which is having 4 instance variables: name, friends, x and y. That is not more important. The most important part is this. This is a method which makes mutual friends. In this mutual friend method, we are trying to add the friend to me, that is the current object, to this, and add this to friend. So this is what we are doing here. We are saying this dot add friend friend. So friend the friend variable gets added. The friend object that we receive, person object that we receive, gets added to this, and this gets added to friend. There is one small catch that we can observe here is we are applying this reference variable for methods first of all, and there is another important point here is if I remove this, even then this code will work. Why? Because add friend is available in a method make mutual friend, which is available in the current class, that is person. And if we write add friend, this is similar to when we write this dot add friend. Both means the same. So this is how to make a mutual friend in our person class. Now this is your turn. Try to modify this code, make mutual unfriend. The information is available to you. This particular documentation tells very clearly what you need to do, and try to modify this code and write your own code for mutual unfriend. You can try it in a project called Friends6 in lesson 3 course code. Open your person class and make a modification here to implement your own mutual unfriend method. Thank you.